Say I wire 5 million overseas tomorrow. How does my government not see it? I thought every bank reports everything now.
The banks report, kid. The accounts don't.
Wait, what? There are accounts that don't report?
Every wire between countries runs through correspondent banks. JP Morgan, Citibank, a handful of giants. Governments built a reporting system called CRS on top of that. But CRS has carve-outs. Private banks in Singapore, Liechtenstein, the Caymans offer accounts that fall outside automatic reporting. Your government never gets pinged.
But the money still moves through the wire system. Someone sees it.
That's why you don't move the money. You move the ownership. Put the 5 million into a Cayman LLC. Then gift the LLC to someone. No wire, no international transfer, no record. The money never crossed a border.
That's insane. So there's no transaction to report because technically nothing moved.
Exactly. The LLC just changed hands. Domestic paperwork, invisible to foreign governments.
Holy sh**. So is any of this even legal?
CRS carve-outs are written into the treaty. Gifting an LLC is standard corporate law, both completely legal, but it gets more extreme. Vanuatu and Nauru still operate outside CRS entirely. Deposit $50K minimum. Your government has no legal right to ask what's in there. None.
Countries that just opted out of the whole reporting system?
Built their banking sector around it. That's not a loophole. That's the product they're selling.
There's gotta be way more structures like this.
Way more. Offshore foundations, nominee ownership, multi-currency private vaults. I compiled all the forbidden knowledge in one place. The Offshore Playbook. Link in bio. Probably getting taken down soon, though.
Why doesn't anyone talk about this stuff?
Because the people who know benefit from others not knowing. You just learned what most people never will.
I keep seeing guys from Pakistan, Russia, India. They get in trouble back home and just vanish. New passport, new country, gone. How the f*** does someone just disappear like that?
They buy a new identity, kid. 100K and you're a citizen of a different country.
Wait, what? You can just buy citizenship?
Dominica, 100K. St. Kitts, 150K. Vanuatu, 130K. Wire the money into a government fund. 60 days later, you have a full second passport. No residency required. You never have to set foot in the country.
So I pay and they just hand me a passport?
Full citizenship. Not a visa, not a residency permit, a passport. That passport gets you into 140 plus countries, visa-free. Europe, UK, Singapore. You travel as a Vanuatu citizen. Nobody questions it.
That's insane. But your home country still taxes you, right?
Not if you renounce. And here's where it gets serious. In most countries, the moment you renounce your original citizenship, your home tax jurisdiction loses you permanently. Pakistan, India, Russia, they can't follow you once you're legally no longer their citizen.
Holy sh**. So they pay 100K and disappear from their entire tax history?
Everything held offshore before renunciation stays offshore. No exit tax triggered. Wealthy Russians moved billions into foreign structures, then bought Caribbean passports and renounced. Legally, they ceased to exist as Russian taxpayers.
And they do this before the crisis hits.
Always before. These programs take 60 days. You don't buy the passport after the government freezes assets. You buy it 2 years early and keep it in a drawer.
There's gotta be way more plays like this.
Way more. Renunciation strategies, offshore asset protection trusts, golden visa structures. I compiled all the forbidden knowledge in one place. The Offshore Playbook. Link in bio. Probably getting taken down soon, though.
Why doesn't anyone talk about this stuff?
Because the people who know benefit from others not knowing. You just learned what most people never will.
Why do billionaires keep dropping 20 million on paintings they never hang on their walls? Is that just a rich person status thing?
Nothing to do with art, kid. It's a tax machine with a frame around it.
Wait, what? A painting is a tax machine?
Buy a $20 million Picasso through a Delaware LLC. Ship it to a Geneva free port. That's a warehouse legally outside any country's tax jurisdiction. No import tax, no wealth tax, nothing owed.
But it just sits there doing nothing.
It appreciates. Every year, the Picasso gains value inside the free port, completely tax-free. No capital gains until it leaves the building. Some of these pieces haven't left in 30 years.
That's insane. So they just wait it out?
Or they sell it without leaving. Inside the free port, you sell to another buyer. Ownership changes hands. No taxable event. The painting never crosses a border. No country can touch the transaction.
Holy sh**. So the whole trade happens in a warehouse and nobody pays tax?
And that's before the loans. Private banks lend against the artwork's value. $20 million Picasso becomes $14 million in cash, deposited into your account. You didn't sell anything. Zero taxable event. You extracted liquidity from a painting that's still sitting in a box in Geneva.
The owner never even sees it?
Sometimes never. Freeport staff rotate artwork ownership records the way banks process wire transfers. The art world moves billions a year this way.
There's gotta be way more plays like this.
Way more. Offshore foundations, wine and gold stored in freeports, luxury asset lending structures. I compiled all the forbidden knowledge in one place. The Offshore Playbook. Link in bio. Probably getting taken down soon, though.
Why doesn't anyone talk about this stuff?
Because the people who know benefit from others not knowing. You just learned what most people never will.
I keep seeing shell companies in the news and nobody can figure out who actually owns them. How the f does a billionaire own a company with zero paper trail?
They don't own it, kid. Someone else does.
Wait, what? Someone else owns their company?
On paper, you pay a local lawyer or a professional service $500 to $2K a year. Their name goes on the company as director and shareholder. Public records show them. You don't exist anywhere.
But then they control my company.
Before the company is even registered, they sign 2 documents, an undated resignation letter and a full power of attorney. Both sit in your safe. You can remove them or act on their behalf the second you want.
That's insane. So I control everything, but my name appears nowhere?
Correct. Panama, BVI, Seychelles, all of them allow this structure. The nominee is a professional. They do this for hundreds of clients. It's their job.
What if the nominee decides to do something with the company themselves?
They can't. The power of attorney you hold overrides everything, and the resignation letter is already signed. You file it. They're gone. New nominee in days.
Holy sh**. So heads of state, billionaires, anyone could own a company and the whole world would never know?
The Panama Papers exposed 11 million documents, 140 politicians, celebrities, billionaires, all invisible for decades behind nominees earning $1K a year.
That sounds completely illegal.
Nominee services are legal in every jurisdiction that offers them. It's a registered industry.
There's gotta be way more structures like this.
Way more. Bearer shares, Seychelles foundations, layered shell company chains. I compiled all the forbidden knowledge in one place. The Offshore Playbook. Link in bio. Probably getting taken down soon, though.
Why doesn't anyone talk about this stuff?
Because the people who know benefit from others not knowing. You just learned what most people never will.
Uncle, I've been looking at apartments in Lisbon. Found one that sold 2 years ago for $500K to some foreigner. Sat empty, just resold for $300K. Who buys a property and loses $200K on purpose?
Someone who didn't buy a property, kid. They bought a passport.
Wait, what? A passport?
Golden visa programs. Portugal, Greece, Malta. Spend $250K to $500K on qualifying real estate. You get residency or full citizenship, European passport, Schengen travel, the whole thing.
But they still lost $200K on the sale.
That's the fee. The property was never the point. You hold it long enough to qualify. Get the document, then dump the asset at whatever price moves it fast. The loss is just the cost of the citizenship.
That's insane. So the $200K loss is cheaper than paying for citizenship directly?
Malta charges $700K for direct citizenship. Portugal's Golden Visa gets you there for $200K to $300K net loss after exit. Same passport, better deal. And the US EB5 visa runs $800K minimum for a green card. These buyers are arbitraging government programs against each other.
Holy. So these guys are buying European citizenship at a discount by deliberately crashing their own property value.
And doing it in bulk. Chinese and Russian investors ran this place so hard that Lisbon's residential market jumped 137% between 2015 and 2023. Normal buyers competed against people who budgeted to lose money. Dubai and Montenegro ran similar programs. Montenegro sold EU-adjacent citizenship for $250K until Brussels shut it down in 2022.
That sounds completely illegal.
Portugal designed the program to attract foreign capital, perfectly legal. They eventually killed the Lisbon and Porto residential exemption in 2023 because the market broke. Athens and Valletta still running it.
Why doesn't anyone talk about this stuff?
Because the people who know benefit from others not knowing. You just learned what most people never will.